Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so MagicRising wrote a comment, a question, and went something like this. Austin, what was the trigger for buying your first Rolex? And so thought I'd make a little bit of a video about that. Now, my first Rolex was the Sub, and I've talked about this before, so I might be repeating myself, but just, you know, enjoy it if you're curious. Okay, so before I talk about what was the trigger for my first Rolex, let me just say that the Rolex seed was planted early, and I've relayed this before in another video, but in short, I was at a jewelry store with my mom, and I saw some sports Rolexes. I'm pretty sure Pepsi was there, GMT, Pepsi, and probably some other sports Rolexes. They swivelly bezeled Rolexes, and I was probably, I want to say I was maybe 10, and I knew they were expensive. They were really good looking, and I was led to believe they were super accurate, like atomic clock accurate, which wasn't the case, but it sort of gave me this respect for this brand. And you know, you think back, I wish I had volleyed for one in some capacity. They were really expensive at the time, but nothing like they were, you know, destined to become price-wise. And you know, this was probably 30 plus years ago, so I probably would have sold it even if I had gotten one. But anyway, that would have been great if I had gotten one 30 years ago. That would be quite a vintage GMT. But my whole point in telling you this is that if that had been Omega, I probably would be an Omega guy today. Throughout the years, I would see Rolex and hear about Rolex, and it was always in the back of my mind as like the best watch brand. It was sort of like a household name, and yeah, I just wonder what it would have been like if I had been looking at a man on the moon and been told the story of the moon watch. I mean, I very well could have become an Omega guy. So that's interesting. But really, what triggered my first Rolex? This is somewhat embarrassing, actually, but it was Archie Luxury. And I saw an Archie Luxury video, and I was really interested in him as a character. He was off the wall. He was zany. He was weird. And I watched another video and another, and the next thing I know, I'm subscribed to the guy. I'm not a watch guy, but I'm watching this character talking about watches, and it sort of reintroduced the idea of Rolex, which, you know, the seed was already planted. And I thought, you know, I've got some disposable income. I need a new hobby. I need something new to think about. I'm gonna get a Rolex. And if Archie had been anti-Rolex, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know what would have happened if he had been like real, you know, gung-ho on, say, Omega. Then I don't think he would have turned me. I think you know, that seed was planted. He watered it, and at the time he had a no-date Sub. I knew the no-date would be cheaper than the date, and I also liked it more. Found out that the Sub was in a few James Bond movies. That was a bonus, and I thought at the time, how much could an old beat-up used Rolex be, right? Now, I didn't go straight to the Rolex. I got to orient first to make sure that I liked wearing a watch. But I will say that was interesting because I pegged an old used Rolex at $100 bucks. No, $1,000. I thought it can't be more than $1,000. Some old you know, at the time, I guess I didn't know that old meant vintage and vintage meant kind of antique-y expensive, but I thought something beat up, and $1,000, but you know, obviously they were more, and so I think that's what led me to go for the Orient, because I think if it was $1,000, I probably would have gone straight to the sub. I would have gone straight for Rolex, but I thought, well, you know, $4 or $5 grand. I mean, let's just make sure we're a watch guy, Austin, and so that's why I picked up the Orient first. But it's very interesting to think, if I hadn't have found Archie Luxuries videos, and you know, at the time I was thinking about selling something on eBay, and I typed in selling something on eBay, and that's how I found Archie. But it's very interesting where I would be today if I had never come across Archie. I don't know if I would have come across a different watch guru. It's become sort of an interest of mine, and it's taken the place of other interests, and I'm much more apt to read about watches on my phone while I'm waiting for the train than cameras. And I used to be a real camera guy and hit those camera sites and read all about, you know, the upcoming Canon rumors and stuff. And I was getting a little bit tired of that hobby, and so I think watches sort of replaced that. There was a whole brand new bunch of things to read about and learn about. But I do wonder if I had just not hit YouTube that day, if I had not decided to, you know, Google selling something on YouTube, or sorry, selling something on eBay, and I had never found Archie, what would I be into? I mean, I wasn't a watch guy. I didn't wear a watch. I used my phone in my pocket. And that's unfathomable to think that I could still be that guy. But would I? It's sort of this, you know, this alternate universe where I'm still walking around with a phone in my pocket, just totally oblivious to Rolex. What would I be into? Would I be into some other hobby? And what would it be? And would I ever have gotten around to Rolex? It was weird. Yeah, I'm glad it happened. It's brought a lot of joy into my life, having these little machines. But that was the trigger. It was seeing a video and developing an interest and going from there. And thank you, MagicRising, for the question, and I hope that satisfied it. I noticed it could be a slippery slope, watches, and that's why I sort of tried to define what my ideal collection was early on, so I wouldn't be on this path of endless acquisition. And so straight after getting the sub, I thought, okay, you know, GMT, so either an Explorer or a GMT, but the date just is kind of nice in sort of a businessy sort of way. And I thought, you know, that would be plenty. If I could get those 4 pieces, I'd be out. And I've gotten 75%, and I kind of feel like that's good enough. Anyway, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.